Why are you over there sighing like you're crying? What is going on? Do you want to say hi? Say hi, everybody. Oh, you're so soft. Should we tell him your song? Should we tell him about your song? Oh, my Baxter, oh, my Baxter, oh, my Baxter Clementine. You were chunky, yet you're fluffy. You're my little golden guy. Look at that little smile. You love your song. Oh, squishes. Alright, so now let's try this again. Hello, you beautiful people! David here, or Sin City Yeti, or just Yeti, whichever you prefer. And today, I'm going to be painting out some rocks. I have tons of rocks. I'm sure some of you saw the last video, and I have quite a collection of just naked rocks. And I need to bring them to life. Whatever may be hiding inside of them, like this one. I see a train. Bullet train to be more exact, or possibly a sandwich, maybe half a sandwich. Could paint that one. I don't think I'm going to be painting that one, but I've got lots of rocks and I've got tons of ideas. So I guess you've had enough of my face. Let's go see what I can create. Painting on some rocks. Well, if I'm gonna be painting on some rocks, I kind of need some rocks here. There's no rocks, so let's get our rocks here. And the first one is, oh, a rock you guys haven't seen yet. And the second one is, oh, another rock you haven't seen yet. Our third one. Ooh, now, okay, you have seen this one in my last one, the baby croc, which means we're gonna have the mama croc. Yeah, these are the rocks I'm gonna be painting on for this video. Ooh, it's, I think, a very nice little batch. The first rock's got quite a bit of sentimental value to it. This is the rock that I used in a sitting area for two baby birds I was taking care of. I'll get into their story a little bit later, but very sentimental rock. Second one, I do see a little bit of like pivoting in this rock, which is kind of making me see like a portal into another world, and I can kind of see like a landscape. This is gonna be a fun rock. And now this rock, the baby, and the next rock, the mama croc rocks. I know exactly what I want to do with these ones, and I think I'm going to have a lot of fun with the colors on these two. But these are our rocks, and in order for me to work on the rocks, I got to kind of clear them away. So the first rock I'm going to be painting is the portal rock. I have a fun idea for this rock, and I can't wait to show you. And I think I'm going to do this side. Maybe I can see some areas that I want to paint. The back. No, not the back. We're going to stick with the front. On this side of it, I'm seeing like a landscape, a desert landscape. And I'm kind of want it to feel like you're looking through a cave almost. And I'm kind of mapping out where I'm going to paint with everything before I actually start laying down a base coat. And I'm going in with some white. I'm going to try to just stick around where the little divot on the edge of this rock is, so I can really highlight you're looking outside of a cave into a desert landscape. Then I'm going to be going in with the sky, with at least the way that I paint. We got to start from the furthest thing away to the closest thing, and that's going to be the sky. Going in with a soft blue to a sky blue at the top, you know, got to get that nice little gradient in the sky done. Starting to map out the mountains in the background. So if you're not aware, at least by my screen name, Sin City Yeti, I grew up in Las Vegas. I've had this screen name forever, even though I'm up in Reno now, still in Nevada, but not super close to Las Vegas, just so you're aware. I'm like a 9-hour drive north of Las Vegas. But that doesn't mean that the desert landscape no longer holds a special place in my heart, because I love the desert landscape, especially the sandstones. That red glistening in the sun. It is just so beautiful to me. So I'm going to kind of go around and start mapping out where I want the rocks from the outside of the cave looking in, just kind of adding a tint to them so it matches a little bit better. Going in with some of this detail work. Of course, the sandstone, I got to kind of hint at that signature sandstone look with the different ribbons of reds to whites throughout it, and going in from lightest furthest away to the darkest closest, so you can kind of help with that perspective, which I do end up struggling a little bit with. At first it looked like it was going good. Everything looked right, some well definition between them all, but then when I started going in with the highlights and the lowlights and kind of adding in the details, I felt like it was starting to blend together, and it was tripping me up a bit because I'm like looking at it and I'm like, oh no, did I mess it up? I kind of just like meshed it all together. It doesn't look as right as it did. So I'm trying to like go into a different spot, and then I ended up taking a break because of course, you know, if something's not going your way in art, you got to take a break, step away for a second, clear your head, and then come back. Coming back with that clear head, you're gonna look at your piece of art with a new perspective, and it's just gonna kind of help you in the long run. Like when you're getting frustrated, it's okay to throw an artistic tantrum every once in a while, but sometimes just stepping away for a second and then coming back to it can really help you out. This is when I knew, like, trust the process. It doesn't look that bad. Time to go in with the plants. And I feel like the plants really made it because those greens complemented the reds really well. And I was able to go in with some of the lighter greens the furthest away, going into the darker, and it really helped that perspective. And so now I'm gonna be going in with the darker greens closer up. Took a little bit of trusting the process, believing in myself, knowing what I was doing. You know, going in with these little tiny, tiny dots, trying to add the illusion of leaves on the plants and almost glistening in the sun, really like gives that illusion that you're in the desert, it's sunny, it's gonna feel hot, and I kind of want to embody that with this rock. Like if you're looking through this portal, you can almost feel the heat coming in through the rock. And I couldn't just leave it at a landscape. I needed to have some fun with it. And this is gonna be a Pokemon rock. With some of the portal rocks I've done, they've been Pokemon rocks in the past. I knew I wanted to go that route. Picked a couple Pokemon I felt would fit the desert theme very, very well. Spearow, to me, kind of gives that like almost vulture vibe to it. And I feel like with the coloring, it would go perfect in the desert. So add in a little Spearow. It's not a Pokemon I've put in any of my artwork yet, so I was happy with that choice. And then of course, with it being the desert, especially in like the southwest part of the United States I grew up in, we have more of the barrel cactuses where I was growing up in Las Vegas. And I felt like Cacnea fit that a lot better than Maractus. So I went with Cacnea, kind of sitting in this cave. So like if you're looking in the portal, it's just right there in the shade, kind of maybe taking a nap in the middle of the day. And I wanted to have a little bit more playfulness to it, not necessarily just sleeping. Kind of had it opening up one eye, looking over at Spearow, Spearow kind of looking back at it. And I'm really freaking happy with how this is looking. It is such a fantastic rock. I am very happy with it. Got the little Cacnea looking up at Spearow, Spearow looking down, all the details of the desert, really giving that looking out of a cave through a portal vibe I was going for. You'll have to let me know if this one's your favorite. Let's go ahead and get started on the next rock. Yeah, and it looks like it's gonna be Baby and Mama Croc rock. So these two rocks, I've done quite a few like psychedelic themed animal head rocks. I have a lot of fun with them. It's just like playing with colors and patterns and putting them together in different ways. So I'm going in with my base coat first. I wanted some more darker colors, so I went with black as my base coat. I know most people do not do black. I wanted the black to kind of peek through though. Any spots that weren't colored, I wanted them to almost look like they were kind of outlined in the black. But I think I do a pretty good job of just tying all the colors quite well together. And the black undertone just kind of dulled the vibrancy enough to where I was very happy. And now we're going to get started with the coloring. So I first started with yellow just to kind of outline where I'm going to be putting everything, trying to find out like the exact placement of where the eyes are going to go and the mouth, because I'm going to be doing more like a psychedelic theme, not quite, but like that same vein with the colors. I'm just layering the colors down now. I'm following along with where the yellow is, going in with the blue, then going in with some greens, and just kind of adding in some patterns where I feel like a pattern would look really good, and just bringing them to life. Going through a select set of colors that I thought would look really well, when all of a sudden, out of nowhere, yeah, my camera just fell off of the tripod. Good thing my freaking hand and my brush were right where they were at because it caught my camera, so it didn't fall. I mean, my phone is my camera. You'll see in the next video that I've already started recording it, and I am not a very graceful person at all. Haven't been since the day I was born. I've gone through so many of my screen protectors, and I actually just recently broke my last screen protector. I need to get some more. Didn't have one yet, so I'm super glad I got my camera. Where was I with this? Oh, that's right. I was working on some blues and greens. I'm not going in a true rainbow order. I know Mariah Elizabeth would be so disappointed in me, but it's still gonna be like rainbow themed. It is June. Of course I had to do at least one rainbow artwork. While I was painting this, I am super grateful that Mother Nature decided she wanted to kind of help me out and inspire me. Because I was starting to get into rut. These two rocks kind of mess with my artistic flow a little bit when all of a sudden a nice, cool thunderstorm rolled in. I'm gonna give you just a minute to listen to this evening because this was a fantastic evening. I turned off all of the electronics, opened up all the windows, let the smell of the rain permeate in my place, and just kind of rejuvenate me. Listen to the rain as it was falling and I was painting. Let me tell you, this was such a fun evening. The periodic thunder clapping in the background, listening to all the rain. Managed to catch one lightning strike. Every time I could see the lightning through the sky in the corner of my eye, got a little distracted, but overall, I got a lot done this night. Really got my rhythm back with these rocks and was driven again. The vision was saved. So now I'm going in with the purples and kind of building up more patterns and designs in this. I want the two rocks to look related to each other. So I wanted like the idea of the patterns to be the same, but I didn't want them to be exact. So if you like really look at these, while they may look identical, there's different spots in the faces that they're not quite the same. Again, like the rocks are different shapes. So I couldn't do exactly the same pattern, but I also thought that was okay because like I kind of want this to be a baby and a mama croc. And while they'll look similar, they won't look identical. And that was the feeling I want. I wanted them to look related. Like, look at this. They're already looking so stinking cute. They're almost giving like Sugar Skull vibes, but not quite Sugar Skull. The patterns of the waves flowing through them. I'm really happy. Like, I decided to go with this idea instead of the realistic, which I almost did. I feel like this was just a better choice, more fun. And again, like I could say now, these are my pride rocks. Mama and baby croc together. I'm very happy with them. I almost don't want to give them away. Like, just watching this again and watching the rainbow come together and come to life in this as I'm adding in the orange with those purples and the maroon sitting there. Now I'm building up to that red. I know I started with yellow and went down to purple, and now I jumped back into yellow to touch up a couple spots, going into orange, and then we're going to go back into red and the pinks. So not a true rainbow because there's going to be some additional colors with it, but that's the vibe I want. Just so colorful, so fun. Rocks that when you see them, it's just going to kind of make you happy. I honestly don't know if I'm going to hide these rocks. I've said that with so many of my rocks, and I still taken them out and hidden them for somebody to find. But I feel like if I do hide these out there, they have to be together. Like, these two rocks need to stay a set. Like, they belong together. It's a mama croc and a baby croc. That's the other reason why I'm not sure I want to go out and hide them. I don't know. Let me know. What do you think? Should I still go out and hide them? Or should I keep them so they stay together? Because they are such a pretty set together. I really hope, like, if I do hide them, though, somebody will take them both, not go, oh, there's two, so I could take one and leave another one for somebody else. I mean, not that I would have any say in that at that point. Anyways, I'm going on some kind of tangent and getting distracted. And that doesn't just happen when I go on my voiceovers. Believe me, um, yeah, I get lost sometimes, even when I'm working. Where was I just painting? Where in the world was I just painting? Oh, duh. That took me entirely too long to find what I was painting. Please, if there are any other artists out there that have this same kind of issue where you're like painting and you go to dip your paintbrush into the paint to get your next little glob and then lose where you were painting, it doesn't happen too terribly often, but enough that like, I know it's a habit of mine, but I also think the busyness of this, like the rainbow, kind of helped me just lose where I was at. But you'll have to let me know. Does this happen to you? Who out there also experiences losing whether they were coloring, drawing, painting, or whatever? Because I was a little embarrassed because I knew I was recording it and I'm sitting there going like, where was I just painting? I'm gonna blame distractions. It was probably one of the dogs. But now we're getting close to like you're seeing the whole picture. The rock is almost completely done for the mama rock. I gotta go on to the baby rock now, and I'm kind of like looking at the mama, looking at the baby, looking at the mama, making sure like the colors are just right, that they're perfect. Should have made more color, but I just wasn't thinking. I was just kind of in the moment making what I felt was the right amount, and it may have been the right amount for the one rock, but I needed to make the right amount for two rocks. But I got the color right. I'm happy with it, and now we're gonna finish up this baby. I can see it. I'm looking at where all of the different lines are on the mama, looking at them on the baby, what still needs to be done, and how I can keep the patterns similar without losing them. And we're just gonna go ahead and get this finished. I'm loving how vibrant it's starting to look, even on the black. That's why I kind of like using a black base coat, is once you've gotten the opaqueness of the colors just right, they pop so well on black. I feel it brings them more to life than white, like it's kind of taking away from them. I'm really happy with the black. Every color shines, and that's what I wanted, and I'm super happy with that. The teeth look a little funny, but don't worry, I still got lowlights and highlights to add into them because um, they're looking like maybe these crocs need to go to rehab or something. Like, guys, do you have a problem? Anyways, I don't need to be going on to anything like that. These crocs are fine. I just gotta finish painting them. The mouth is almost done. I'm getting the eyes started now. I was a little thrown off by the teeth because I was just like, they're so thin and they look not healthy. So when something like that happens, you just move on to the next part of it, and I'm getting these eyes done. I wanted to make sure the eyes still kind of match the croc, but didn't take away from the croc while also standing out on their own, which I felt was gonna be a little difficult with how busy the pattern work was on the croc, but I think I found a pretty good blend. I still feel like the eye pops. I added in just a touch of white to make sure it looks juicy and it highlighted, and I love this. Look at this. Mama and baby together. I almost feel like they're smiling. I love the color choices I did with this one. It was so much fun. Got that rainbow bride feel going on. So these are my rainbow rocks, my rainbow art for the month. You'll have to let me know if these are your favorite or if it was the first portal rock. But we still have one last rock, so maybe this one's gonna be your favorite. And here we go. So this rock. I'm gonna tell you guys a little bit of a story while you watch me paint this one. I'm not really gonna walk you through it too much. This story is a little hard for me to talk about. I actually wanted to get this rock done, almost a year ago. Not quite, but it was a little hard. So in my old apartment, we had a tree outside of our living room window, and we were on the second story, so we could look down into the tree. one day I had my windows open, I had the patio door open, and I could hear a bird squawking. And I used to have pet birds, so I could recognize like that I'm in trouble squawk. And so I go out onto the balcony and I'm looking around trying to see like what is happening. I see in the tree and I'm looking at it and I can tell it's a bird sitting in a nest and it is smacking its nest. And I'm like, what in the world is going on? So I actually just decided I'm gonna go downstairs and check it out. So I went downstairs and looked up into the tree and I could see that there were babies in the nest. And I'm like, what in the world is the bird doing? And I could see that the nest was swarming with ants, and the 2 babies in the nest were just completely covered and they were being eaten alive by these ants. So I didn't even think about it. I just grabbed the 2 babies and I took them upstairs and I immediately started cleaning them off, removing every single ant from them. And I could tell that they were just bitten up so bad. And it was breaking my heart to see this. Luckily, because I had a bird, I did still have some first aid stuff for birds, including like for sensitive, rashed skin, an antibiotic ointment for birds. I used that to kind of help treat where these birds were bitten up. I even cleaned the nest up, got all of the ants out of the nest, removed them. I took soapy water with a rag, washed all the ants off of this tree, off the branches to remove its scent so I could put the nest back up into the tree with the birds hopefully recovered enough that they were going to live. Unfortunately, Mama never came back, or Daddy. I guess they may have just seen me remove the nest and figured their babies were gone completely, and so they just didn't come back. I knew the babies weren't going to make it if I just left them. They weren't going to make it if I didn't step in to help them with the ants. They weren't going to make it if I didn't step in again. And since I had raised birds, I had a basic idea with doves. And if you're not aware, doves actually produce dove milk for their babies. And I did some research on how to make as close to dove milk as I could get. And I was really happy with what I was able to do to save them. And immediately I could tell one was a runt and one was quite healthy. And I ended up naming them Dilly and Dally. So I named the full-grown one Dilly and I named the runt Dally. So they were my Dilly and Dally. And I could also tell that Dally, the runt, had some health issues. So Dally had seizures. At least I'm guessing they were seizures. I didn't take him to a vet or anything like that because I don't have the money for that. And most of the wildlife rehabilitation centers that I had called just told me to actually leave him in the nest and just let nature take its course. They're just doves. I didn't want to do that. I didn't feel right doing that, especially since I was the one that kind of had removed them. So I wanted to do my best to try to help Dally. And that's where this rock actually came in. I used the rock as the support for Dally and was able to support himself and sit upright, be part of, the family. So one day I went for my morning walk, and then when I came back, I had realized Dally, I'm guessing, had a seizure and did not make it. I was kind of devastated, and even though I gave it my best effort, I just poured all of my attention into Dilly, and Dilly was doing quite well. Dilly was getting trained, was learning whistle commands, starting to recognize herself in the mirror. She was so smart. I really adored Dilly. She was just such a fun bird. Since I lived up on the second story, I would put her out in the balcony and I had dirt and plants growing that they could mess with and dig and forage because I was trying to rehabilitate them so I could release them. I was very happy with it and very proud with what I was doing, and Dilly was so healthy growing up. I loved her so much. Unfortunately, one day when I had her out on the balcony, she was just playing, doing her thing out there. I had to go to the restroom, so I went to the restroom, and as soon as I opened the door, I just saw the back end of a cat and its tail jump out of the patio. I didn't even consider cats coming up onto the second story, and when I ran out there, the patio was just filled with feathers, and I couldn't find Dilly anywhere. And that one really kind of broke me for a little bit. I was devastated by that because Dilly was turning into such a special bird. I know that I gave her a really good life while she was with me, and that's all I could really do. So that's this rock. I decided it was going to be my tribute art piece to these two very special birds, Dilly and Dally. Dilly is the one with the purple aurora, and Dally is the one with the blue aurora around him. And I'm really happy with it. I think this is a very good rock. This is one that, no matter what I'm going to keep, this is a tribute rock. And now that I got this rock done, let's go ahead and take a look at all of the rocks. And yeah, I think this is a very fun, unique batch of rocks. Got both of my croc rocks done, had some fun with the Pokemon rock, and then of course my tribute rock to Dilly and Dally. Now that I got all the rocks done, I think it's time to go to our final review. And look, they're both here today. Bergster, Onis. So what do we think? I got 4 rocks done. I'm very happy with them. I have a favorite, just because of the sentimental reason. So, Dilly and Dally are definitely my favorite. This was quite a hard rock to paint. Still got me a bit emotional. But now I got a nice little tribute to them, and it's on Dilly's rock. I think it's quite perfect. However, just because that's my favorite does not mean that the Pokemon rock though, this one I really do love. And of course, because it is June, I had to do something rainbow. Come on now. And the mama and baby crocodile. Look at them, they're so freaking cute. I actually really love the way that they came out. All the patterns and colors. What? Yeah, this was a good batch of rocks I painted this week. At least I think so. Not to toot my own horn or anything. But what do you think? You think I did a good job? Which is your favorite? Did you like the Pokemon rock, the scenic desert landscape with Spearow and Cacnea? Did you like the mama and baby crocodile? Both of them matchy-matchy, with their own little spots of uniqueness within their patterns? Or did you like the tribute rock, Dilly and Dally? To 2 very special doves that will always have a place in my heart. And it's going to be a little bit of time before I not get choked up over them. You'll have to let me know. Anyways, I hope you all have a wonderful day. Be safe out there. Don't get lost, don't get stolen. And I hope you all have a wonderful day. Bye, you beautiful people.